Hello, I'm an AI-generated avatar. I won't win any awards for realism, but I'm excellent at explaining important things without wasting your time. So, welcome to our first Revi Talks, Transparency in Logging and AI Systems. Let's get started. Today, we're going to talk plainly about something that matters more than any feature list: transparency. Specifically, how transparent your logging or AI vendor really is when it comes to security, custody, and control in CJIS-governed mission-critical environments. If you're evaluating logging systems or AI analytics, this is a video your CIO or IT director should see. In public safety and other critical operations, the issue isn't simply whether a system can transcribe audio. Even transcription becomes problematic when it relies on third-party services, because CJIS audits increasingly scrutinize where audio goes, who processes it, and how custody is maintained. The real challenge is whether a vendor can deliver speaker separation, redaction, QA, summaries, sentiment, and analytics at scale while preserving CJIS custody, maintaining NIST-aligned controls, and producing defensible end-to-end audit evidence, without introducing third-party dependencies that complicate compliance. That's why Revcord made a deliberate decision to vertically integrate the full AI stack, well beyond transcription. Once a vendor relies on third parties for core processing, the data path becomes fragmented. You introduce more handoffs, more subprocessors, more ambiguity, and more places where CJIS custody and audit evidence get complicated. What may look straightforward on a feature sheet becomes harder to explain and defend as workflows deepen, volumes grow, and compliance expectations tighten. We didn't want ambiguity as our foundation. This is the difference between assembling capabilities and owning the entire chain of custody. By operating in a closed, controlled processing environment and owning the infrastructure posture end-to-end, Revcord can clearly explain where data goes, how it is processed, who has access, and how controls are enforced. That clarity matters when you're talking to CIOs, IT leadership, CJIS auditors, and procurement teams who need defensible answers, not marketing language. From an infrastructure standpoint, this isn't theoretical. Revcord's production environment operates in a Tier 4 data center with SOC 2, ISO 27001, HIPAA, and PCI controls at the facility level. But more importantly, our application, AI workflows, access controls, encryption, logging, and operational policies are implemented and validated at the system level, not by a third party and non-merely inherited from the building we are housed in, a game which many vendors play. Being in AWS Gov does not grant system-level security. All AI processing is performed on Revcord-owned hardware using closed models. There is no reliance on public or shared AI services. No OpenAI, no Azure AI, no AWS Transcribe, and no external AI subprocessors in the path. We've evaluated hosted and so-called private AI offerings, but if a third party operates the model, it is extremely difficult to independently verify access paths, transient data handling, retention behavior, or personnel controls. From a CJIS and NIST standpoint, that lack of visibility creates ongoing audit risk. We've also evaluated AWS GovCloud. GovCloud provides a compliant infrastructure foundation, but it does not make your application, your AI workflows, or your operational controls CJIS or NIST compliant. AWS validates their environment, not your workload. You still have to harden operating systems, enforce FIPS validated cryptography, manage identity and access, implement logging and auditability, maintain personnel policies, and operate continuous compliance. GovCloud often creates implications that are simply not true, and that gap becomes very clear during audits. Once you factor in 24/7 GPU capacity at scale, redundancy, storage, monitoring, security operations, and compliance staffing, the realistic cost to replicate what Revcord already operates exceeds $150,000 per month and often approaches $2 million per year. Even then, the CJIS and NIST posture is usually more complex and harder to explain cleanly to customers. Reducing that complexity was a deliberate design choice. This is why transparency matters, and why agencies need to ask better questions. Does your AI ever leave my environment? Do you use OpenAI, Azure, AWS, or Google anywhere in the processing chain? Are your cryptographic modules FIPS validated? Are your CJIS and NIST controls independently validated at the application level? Can you prove full chain of custody end to end? If a vendor can't answer clearly and defensibly, the risk lands on you. You deserve clarity, not implications. Proof, not promises. Ask tougher questions and demand real answers.